All right. It looks like we are going live. Good morning, everyone, or perhaps good evening. My name is Lepora Lindsay. I am happy to be here on this Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, where we're going to be talking a little bit about career overnight success. Or are we? It's gonna be a good talk though. It's gonna be a good talk. And I'm joined this morning by I will let Demetria introduce herself.
Good morning. I'm Demetria Lawson. I am the founder and instructor for Career Branding Academy, and I help recent graduates get jobs and work in their purpose. So I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to have this conversation.
All right, great. It's going to be a great conversation too. So I saw Demetria on LinkedIn, and it just seemed like as far as her whole focus with being able to speak with people, those recent graduates, people who are in those entry level positions, it just seemed like something that just really resonated with me. And so I have no doubt that it will also resonate with you all as well. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get into it because we're only going to be on here for 10, 15 minutes. So if you haven't already logged in, you better log in, but you can always catch the replay. But it's always better live. Feel free to put your questions or comments in the chat. Hopefully it'll pop up on my end in live. And if it doesn't, then we can always circle back and answer those questions. Okay, so Demetria, why has overnight career success become such an overwhelming goal in the workforce? Or what is your reasoning for thinking that it has?
My reasoning is just the way the world is working now. Like everything is right now, everything is in your face. You got Instagram, you got LinkedIn with a lot of congratulate me. I'm happy to announce, and people see that and they feel like, oh, I need that. It's like an immediate thing. They got it, so I need it. I need it now. You know,
Yeah.
forgive me, I'm getting over a cold, so I sound raspy and I might cough, but um, yeah, that's what I think it is. Just having like a FOMO, really.
Yeah.
They're missing
No,
out.
I agree. I agree with that. And I think too, I think if I had to sum it up with like in a phrase, I think it's like ego over essence.
Oh, yes.
Right? Like we start to when we get into, and I'm not saying that ego is bad, right? Like it's okay to have an ego, like, right? But when we get to the point where we start to constantly compare ourselves in the sense of, well, I'm not great because I haven't
Mhm.
reached this, or because someone else has done that and I haven't. That's when we start to play too much into letting our ego guide us in our career success versus our essence, which is really more so of being in the moment and really just appreciating and being passionate about what we do. So I have to agree, with what you're saying as far as we're looking at all these other people and we're just kind of following along those lines.
Those are
So,
facts. Yes, yes. I like
yeah,
the ego over essence. Yes.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, we all fall prey to it, but it's all good. So when starting out, so we're talking about career overnight success, and let's say that you have people who start out. It seems to be like a really big push for people to go for the bigger corporations over the smaller businesses or
Mhm.
mom and pop shops. And why do you think that is?
I think a lot of different ways. There could be someone like a recent graduate, or somebody 1 or 2 years out or about to graduate who needs to make money for their family,
Mhm.
who needs to make money to stack some coins. Like it's a lot of different variables that could go into why they go for the bigger fish over the little fish right away. Um, Me personally, I don't think either would matter. You know, it depends on what you're looking for and what will feed you in the moment.
Mm.
I would say. How
That's
about you?
good. That's good. I thought we were going to have a battle discussion right there, but no, no, no. That makes sense. I completely. Oh yeah. So yeah, I agree with that. As far as with being able to just it doesn't really matter, honestly, and I think it kind of goes back to that initial question where if we are um more so focused on what that initial goal is. Okay, so someone said that they're not getting any sound. All
Oh,
right. Yeah, I think it may be your connection because we're good on this end. Yeah, I'm not muted here.
yeah, I hear you pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, so I would just go back in and double check. But I'm glad y'all are checking in. That's great. That's great. So we talked a little bit about as far as starting out, smaller firms versus bigger firms doesn't really matter. It all depends on what that end goal is, Demetria, which is what you shared, which I absolutely agree with. So let's say though,
Yeah.
right, that you have two people that are applying for one job at one particular company, and one of them has worked at a bigger corporation and the other person has worked at a small business or a corporation. Do you think that that can somehow play into what the end result is for
No,
getting who
absolutely
gets
not.
hired?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's the effort that you put into the job you are. So if you work at a smaller corporation, if you work at a mom and pop shop, or whatever, the effort that you put in while you were there, the the amount of the amount of things that you accrue, the knowledge you accrue while you were there, the research you did, how much more you could put on your resume, could be way more than a person who worked at a bigger corporation. They might have just, did what they were responsible for, which I
Mhm.
absolutely despise that those terms. They might have just did their, what they were responsible for and kept it pushing, and then have their resume not too doesn't look too glamorous, and trying to apply based off of the big name, and that might not work against
Right.
somebody who worked at a smaller organization or a mom and pop and did all these great things and help push their sales and help grew the company and increase their goals and can speak to it on their resume. Somebody might want them more. It just depends on what you did, what you can speak to, what you have to prove, the value that you can bring, pretty much.
I love that, the value that you can bring, because we do get so caught up in, well, I worked for this particular company or I did this particular task, but at the end of the day, when we're writing resumes and when we're networking, we're not networking for, unless you are actually networking for the company, right? You're trying to
Right,
get a job, you're networking and you're writing your resume for yourself. So it really is those tasks.
right,
And with you and your background with branding, I mean, you're all about like how can you keep your um sell yourself? How can you keep that storyline clean to where if you are somebody who is about making uh impacts over a short amount of time, how have you done that? No matter where you've been, how have you been the person to make those impacts in a short amount of
exactly,
time?
exactly. That is it. That is it.
Great.
Wow, how much effort you put in.
Love it,
That's
love
what.
it.
Yeah.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm so glad to see y'all. I can't see your names on my end, but I'm glad to see everybody here. So we're talking a little bit about career overnight success. We are halfway through, so we have a, a few more discussion questions. If you missed it from the beginning, no worries. You can always catch the replay, and the video will be posted on YouTube as well. So, Demetra is sharing some great insights in regards to when we're talking about career overnight success. And right now, y'all, we are at the point where it's about the effort that you put into it. We talk about big corporations versus mom and pops. Doesn't really matter at this point. What are you doing? How are you being consistent? So, my next question for you, Demetra, is there's a saying, you got to start somewhere, right? But then
Mhm.
there's the other saying is, don't settle. And I don't know, but I be getting confused when I hear like, I'm like, well, which one is it? So what, and I know that other job seekers are getting confused or job searchers. So what is the difference between, or where do you draw the line between don't settle
Mhm.
and you got to start somewhere?
That's a doozy right there, and I think it goes back to the last two questions, because you feel like somebody might feel like they're settling going to a smaller corporation, or let's say you have the one person who goes to the bigger corporation across the country to California, and you decide to stay in, I don't know, Detroit,
Mhm.
and you might feel down upon yourself. It depends on what feeds you, what you need in the moment. Maybe you need to stack coins and stay home and work at this local organization, but you're building your resume, you're building your skill set, you're making yourself better. So in 1 to 2 years, you can apply and get a better job out in California. Or maybe you want to just go and shoot for it and go to California, whatever, at a big company. I don't know why using California, maybe because it's far away from me. But I think it goes back to the last question. Whatever feeds you in the moment is what you do. I don't think it's really settling. I don't think you should think about it that way. Now, if you are scared, I don't know if I have the skill set. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know. And then you stay for that reason. Now that's a settle. But if you have a plan, I'm going to do this. I'm going to, help them build this to put this on my portfolio, stack some coins, get some money up. So then I, in a year or two, go back out my resume. I'm going to be even better. You have a goal in mind. That's not settling. That is a strategic plan to get yourself out there, build your resume, and climb up that ladder if that's what you want to do.
Right, right. I like that. I like that. So what I heard from all of that is really complacency. Like that's kind of where that line is drawn, um, of between settling and starting somewhere. Like we all have to start somewhere, but
Right.
are you going to stay there because maybe you feel like you can't, or because you decided that you don't want to set a plan to move from there? Or are you strategically planning that even if you do decide to stay in that particular position, what impacts do you plan on making? What value do you plan on sharing? Instead of I'm just going to keep doing the exact same thing every
Right.
single day. So that's I hope y'all listening in, y'all. We got some some good insights there, because it sometimes it is about working your way up, but sometimes it's just about what can I do differently in order to make a bigger impact in where I am right now. So
Right.
with all of this great information that you've shared today, what for job seekers, for maybe individuals who are just starting out, or maybe people who are career transitioning, do you have a tip or two that you think would be helpful as it relates to career overnight success, or the fact of not necessarily aiming for career overnight success?
I have a I have a lot of tips, but I'm gonna go with know what you want to do. Like try to figure out what you like to do, what you want to do, so you can have a general area of where you want to start looking. You're not just applying to everything you see. You're not at a job and it sucks because I've been there, and you're like, I'm not gonna apply to anything I know. Think about
Mm.
the job that you hate, that you suck, what you like about that job. What you did at the last job and that you like. Make a list. It's like, okay, think about it, and then you're like, okay, well this fits this type of job description, or this fits this type of job title, and then you can start looking for that specific job, and not every job in the bucket, because you're gonna exhaust yourself. You're gonna get exhausted. You're gonna get um, tired, and you're gonna feel bad about yourself, and zero in. Even if it's not like really really granular, get a circle around it. Zero in, and then start looking for jobs in that. Then start networking with people in that area to help you zero in on what you want to do to get to your goal.
I love that. I love that. So y'all heard it. Y'all got that great information. I hope you wrote it down, but if you didn't, hit the replay and play it again. Our time is winding down. Demetra, is there any way that you want people to be able to connect with you after we close out here today?
Yeah, you can always find me on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. I like to I like everybody's congratulations posts. So if you follow me and you got one, I'ma like it. I like just about everybody on my networks looking for a job. So I probably have a couple of jobs that people on my network on my LinkedIn page. You can follow me on LinkedIn. I just started branching out to TikTok. So
Ooh.
check me out there if you want a quick video, quick little learn. But yeah, LinkedIn's a place to be.
Perfect, perfect. Thanks so much for sharing. Y'all, we will be back, or I'll be back next Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern. In the meantime, you can follow me on or connect with me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. I haven't done TikTok yet. Not really. It's there, but it's not really there. Uh, thanks so much for listening in as we talked a little bit about career overnight success. And we came to the conclusion that it can take a toll on you, and that
Mhm.
really, instead of us aiming for this career overnight success, we have to take a look at all of the work and the effort that is required to be put in. We can look at people and say, hey, this is where we want to be. But at the end of the day, we don't fully know everything that other people are, that work that they're putting in and the efforts that they're putting in.
Facts.
So, yeah. So take the time to put in your work, put in your effort, and your success, however you define it,
Mm.
can come in that particular way, but it's going to come with some time. And that's it. Hopefully, y'all will join us again next Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Bye, everyone.
Bye.